So when to take profits and what has changed over the closing of this week that we just had with Bitcoin. There's a whole lot to discuss and a couple of changes within the market. As you can see here from Crypto Bubbles, there is a little bit of a market pullback that's currently taking place. And today we're going to get into if that is cause for concern. Is the FTX FUD something that could lead to a greater sell-off across the whole market? Or is this the start of a greater upside move? And I have one indicator that suggests that that is a possibility. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. And I want to start off with the weekly chart and the one bit of hopium that is out there. It is the weekly RSI, which has broken through the trend line, which has been holding ever since January of 2021. So essentially, since those highs were put in and price started to turn over, and then we proceeded to reject again in November. And then pretty much here, we've just started to break through. So what does that mean for price action? Well, that means that bulls do essentially have a chance whereby they could potentially push price higher and slice through all of the upside resistance over here. But the high time frame picture only really starts to change once you reclaim all of these moving averages, which, as you can see, is a massive cluster of resistance above us. And you do now have the upper Bollinger Band, which is now officially crossed below the 200 moving average, is the purple chart, the purple line over there on the chart. And then here you have the 21. Remember, I have shown you guys the strategy of using the 21 exponential moving average on a weekly chart, and how generally, if price is below it and it's angled downwards, you typically don't want to be entered into the market as an investor. And then if price recaptures that yellow moving average and it can start angling upwards, that's generally speaking the start of a new bull market. So with that being said, you kind of want this RSI to continue tracking up and get into the 50-60 zone. That would give price action a chance to break through all of these levels. I've now marked out the new ranges, and all you have to do is simply put your chart on a weekly chart, mark out the weekly high, weekly low, weekly open, and weekly close. Your range lies between $20,000 and $39, and the upside $21,473. If you can break above that 21,500 level, I would expect continuation to the upside. Consequently, if you lose $20,000 again this week, then it would start to look like more downside is likely. And we're still waiting for the major expansive move. Maybe it will happen this week. We did get a little bit of volatility, as you would all know. Altcoins proceeded to rally, but it's not the major move. It's not the macro trend changing move or continuation to new lows type of move that we're waiting for on a high time frame. That is yet to come. And with this week's CPI data, which is coming out, it could be a potential catalyst that could move price action, but we'll have to take a closer look when the time comes. So Heikin-Nashi candles over here, which essentially works out the average on price action. You can see we now are working on our third green weekly candle. And if this can continue at this pace, then potentially we break through that 25,000. You get above this resistance over here, and you'll have a lot more upside. And when I say this resistance, I'm talking about this price action on the left. Let me just take that off. Over here, get above these highs, and then the picture really starts to change on a high time frame. Let's look at this chart over here, which is using our short medium and long-term moving averages. It's very close to flipping bullish, but it's not quite yet. And it depends on what strategy you're using, right? If you're using a low time frame strategy, you probably went bullish already over a week ago, as did I. I told you guys I mainly trade the 4-hour chart, which is why I was giving long calls. I think 2 weeks ago on the Friday was the first long call that I gave. Using this is for the much more conservative trader. Those of you who are more investors, you know, you're not looking to take too many trades, maybe only 4 or 5 trades in an entire year. What you'd want to see, again, yellow needs to cross above purple, green needs to get above purple as well, and price needs to hold. And similar to the weekly, that probably only happens when price starts to hold above about $23,000, $24,000. That's when this starts to flip bullish. At the moment, it's kind of in a no trade zone, so I wouldn't be doing anything with regards to this chart as an investor. Now, touching on everything that's been going on with FTX, a lot of FUD. If you haven't heard, pretty much CZ of Binance came out to say that the remaining FTT, which is the native token of FTX, the tokens that they hold in their reserves, I think are in the region of $2 billion. Pretty much they're going to be selling them. So you need to ask yourself, look, that your concern should be, why are they selling them? That news hasn't come out yet. That may only be coming out later. And it does remind me of what happened with Luna. I know you can't really compare. It's not always exactly the same thing. But with Luna, there were a couple of guys that came out and suddenly put on these $10 million bets where they said, I'll challenge you that Luna is going to go to this price level, which was, of course, much, much lower price levels that people never believed. And they obviously had some inside information about what was really going on. So this is a developing story. Keep your eye on it. But according to Wu Blockchain here and Crypto Quant, the ETH reserves have dropped to the lowest level since November 2020. And the current FTX ETH reserves are 108,246. And its ETH reserves have decreased by nearly 300,000 in just the past 2 days, which is pretty scary. Look at their stablecoin reserves, also reached a year low, so $51 million as of now, which is negative 93% over just the last 2 weeks. And this is quite scary. If you look at crypto BitLord, he's from Australia. He's usually more like a meme kind of guy that plays a lot of jokes and stuff, but it makes me wonder if this is true. I don't really know with him whether he's joking or not, but he says, I just woke up, got a sizable amount that I can't withdraw from FTX, and I'm not sure if anyone else is having issues. And that is quite scary when you're holding millions of dollars on an exchange. I know a couple of people personally who hold in excess of $1 million on FTX, and I asked them what they thought of this tweet, and they said, look, the exchange is working a lot slower than usual. They are able to withdraw, but it's taking longer than usual. And either way, it's kind of like a run on the bank scenario. It can be quite scary. And that is why I really recommend to you guys Biswap. I have mentioned them before, just to quickly slide them in for a quick shill over there. But it is true. You own your keys then when you use a DEX. This is a Binance DEX, and you're able to buy your tokens on here for the long hold. I really do recommend that if you are going to be hodling as an investor. Don't hodl on an exchange. If you're trading a higher time frame chart, something like this over here, then you only need to make a couple of trades a year, which means that you'll have enough time to get your coins swapped on a DEX. You don't need to be setting limit orders and things like that. And this is one of the best opportunities to do that, because you do get 50% of the fees back from the exchange. And there is a link over here. If you do want to use it, check over here. Make sure you use this link, because there are copy exchanges that are out there. It will take you through to it, and you can have a look at that. Now, moving back into the price action, I wanted to touch on the altcoin perpetuals over here, because the altcoins have, of course, been flying. And now I think a lot of people are wondering, when should they start to take profits with regards to these trades? And using this chart over here, you can see that as long as this continues to hold an uptrend, which it is over here, you have a low, higher low, higher low. You'll be watching for anywhere within this region for your next higher low. And as long as this level gets defended and this doesn't fall through like that, then you can expect higher prices on the altcoins. But with that being said, let me grab the ruler over here quickly. If you have a look from there to there, that's another 3-4%, which means you can expect that altcoins are probably going to continue to pull back a little bit more. You want to use this altcoin perpetual index as a comparison to the altcoin that you're looking at, and then overlay the two charts together and make sure that your altcoin continues to remain at the very least on a 4-hour chart in an uptrend. That would still mean that it is a potential buying opportunity for you. But I also want to say that you need to be very, very careful with regards to what's going on in the markets at the moment, because the traditional markets have been contracting like a spring, right? The VIX coils up like a spring, and when you release it, volatility enters into the market. And this has been continuing to the downside for a number of days now. How many days is that? That is from the 13th of October all the way till now, which is the 4th of November. So it's been almost 3 weeks of straight sell-off on the VIX, on the daily chart. And that means that when this does bounce from whatever level it bounces from, whenever you see a reaction to the upside, that is going to mean that risk on assets, which is stocks and crypto, are definitely going to suffer. And I think Wifey says it very well over here. I love this account on Twitter. Wifey Alpha says before we see VIX at more than 60, people need to get short volume with new bull market expectations. It is coming. The giga volume bid will trade. It is just a matter of time, when timing is everything. In the meantime, we smash and grab on options. And Wifey is basically saying that we kind of over here within the return to normal. That's kind of the thinking within the market. And you need to get the VIX above at least this 48 line here, the risk line over here. I've put out markets tend not to bottom unless they get above this level over here. At the very, very least, all the major market bottoms came within this zone. And therefore, you need to be constantly cautious of a potential trap. And the bear market rallies can go much, much higher than you expect. I've told you guys this multiple times. It's a common saying that the market can remain irrational much longer than you can remain solvent, meaning if you are counter trading the trend, you're going to suffer. The trend is starting to reverse to the upside, and that can continue at an irrational level much longer than you think. The bear market rallies can be quite aggressive, so keep a close eye on the VIX and continue to bid every higher low. But when that next higher low gets lost, pretty much I think that the market will sell off incredibly quickly. And it would look something like this. If you look at Crypto Poseidon's volume and price over here, the overlay, let's just quickly open that up. So look at 2019. You see price was coming down. The market bottomed on declining volume. 2020, the market bottomed with a strong spike to the upside and then declining volume. And now we have the same thing over here, but we haven't had a big enough volume spike to the upside, which is also in line with what Wifey is saying over here. And he's got an Elliott wave pattern. You got 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, and now we're waiting for wave 5, which look, he's outlined anywhere between 10,700 and 13,888. And those are the exact levels that I said I'd be looking at for a market bottom. 13,888 is one of the key yearly levels on a yearly open, and price tends to gravitate towards that. And then the 10,700 region is just a very, very strong horizontal level to keep an eye on. Okay. 3-day chart, inverted chart. So we flip it the other way around, look at it from both angles, and tell me, what do you see when you look at this particular chart over here? So first and foremost, we had an uptrend, strong uptrend. Uptrend means downtrend because it's inverted, but price is still stuck within this zone over here, which is a consolidation until it gets below this region, which is, in other words, price needs to get above 22,500 and close there on a 3-day basis to make a new lower low. So take out this higher low, make a lower low over here. That would signify to you on a high time frame, which is for investors, that the trend is reversing. And that would also line up with this chart over here. If you get above those levels, this would also start to signal to you to go long, but we're not quite there yet. So don't front run it, pay close attention and be careful. Consequently, also, if we lose this zone over here and we make higher highs, which is the 18,300 zone, then you can expect much lower prices, and that probably leads to the capitulation, which is what Crypto Poseidon is looking for, between 10,700 and 13,800. Now, this can still take time. It can sell off in a systematic way. We can have an extended bear market rally that could even go as high as $30,000 for all I know. Go and look at the show that I dropped on Friday, which is the Psychology of a Wall Street cheat sheet, that psychology that an investor goes through. And we kind of might still be needing that depression phase, and we kind of just finishing with the anger phase, which leads to a little bit of a bounce, gets people excited again, and then you continue on down. So be careful, be careful, be careful. I am long, by the way. Full disclosure, I am long, but I trade shorter time frames, and I would be willing to flip short at any moment at the first sign that it gives me. So looking at the low time frames over here, this chart is essentially telling us that any bounces that come into 21,200, you should be looking to technically go short into, and you'll be waiting to see if another higher low gets formed, on the very least on a daily, and that means that price needs to hold above at least $20,100. I'm looking at 20,500, and I'll show you why. On a low time frame basis, that is where you want to see price action bounce from. So super guppy indicator over here, it's still great. Again, you want to see price hold above the box, 20,500. So you see that zone over there. That is, let me zoom in a bit. This is where you want to see price bounce from. Let's look at this on a daily chart. So simple trend line over there, at least hold around here, 20,456. Lower time frame on this one, or this is still a daily. I just wanted to touch on this. Liquidity grab got tapped exactly there at 21,500 to the T. I do still think there could potentially be one more spike to the upside. You again want to see all the moving averages hold here. This time frame is where I think one more spike, and that's looking at this over here. Let's quickly zoom in. So this price action over here, you can see on the left-hand side, I still think there could be one more push that goes into that zone. And here it is again, 20,500 on the 4-hour chart. That's based on a strong horizontal. You can see wick into there, wick into there, wick into there. It's been a strong support resistance level, and I want to see Bitcoin bounce from that zone. If it loses this level, I think things start to turn bearish again very, very quickly. Okay, going on to the short-term trades that we took on the hourly chart. I gave all of these trades on Friday, or I gave them before Friday, but I told you on Friday to move all your stops into break even. So this trade is complete. TP pretty much reached on Bitcoin. On Solana, TP basically reached as well. You should be exited from these. Atom, this one didn't get as high, but you would have TP'd half of it halfway through at 15, and the rest you still have running. I would pretty much continue to hold this long, and as long as the EMAs hold on the 1 hour, which is the 50 and the 200 EMA. If you start to lose those EMAs, consider getting out. Already raise your stop loss at least just below that blue 200 exponential moving average that is on Atom. Let's take a very, very quick look at the FTX token. Let's go on the daily chart over here. FTT, let's give you an idea of what's going on over here. Okay, so the token doesn't look good. If you are holding this, it is kind of in a bit of a scary place, because if you do start to fall below this level over here, which I don't think would be too hard to do at the moment, considering that's not a very strong level of support. Have a look at this over here. Do you see as quick as price action moved up, it could move all the way back down to the downside, and then your next meaningful area of support is pretty much coming in this area around $10. So if the FTT token starts to close at pretty much, I would say even a 4-hour candle below $21.13. So any 4-hour candles under $21.13 would be an immediate short trade for me. I'll probably enter into a short with an ultimate target coming all the way down between $9 and $11. So let's call it 10. And guys, I think that's pretty much it from me. Very, very quick update today. I will update you all in the Discord group, which if you have a look in the link below, let's just click on that. Please do me a favor as well. Give the video a like. Has 178 likes and over 1,000 of you watching live. Just click the like button for me. It helps to get the video out there. I'd really appreciate it. And then have a look below for the Discord link. If you're not already in the Discord, all you have to do is click on that link. It will give you instructions of what to do to join. And that is where I'll drop trades. I haven't taken any trades yet, but I'll come up with trade plans over the course of today, which we can use for the week ahead. So with that being said, that is it from me. I will see you all on the next video. Have an absolutely stellar day. Cheers for now.